about our borders. You can start our conversation today. Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter is our Twitter and Facebook lines. Hashtag is Arise Africa. Start the conversation. But before we do that, let's hear what some of you had to say earlier this week.
My name is Wilson Kilonzo. Regarding on security, Kenyan security on the borders, well, I would just say the government is not doing enough. So it's a bit trying because it's so occupied with other things rather than dealing with the real issues of security.
My name is Mary Jaoko. I think the government is not doing enough concerning security. First, because of what happened in Ketoni, I don't think it's safe for us. The government, as in like the troops, are in Somalia, and in our borders, we don't have security. So personally, I think the troops should come back and safeguard us in our borders.
I'm Philip Ndekerer. I'm a resident of Nairobi. Okay, on matter security, I actually don't think the government is doing enough on matter security, considering the attacks in Garissa and subsequent attacks even here in the capital city of Kenya, here in Nairobi. We've seen numerous attacks so far, so I don't actually think we are safe as Kenyans, considering how porous our borders are. As of yet, we see right now we have countless immigrants here in Nairobi, right here in Nairobi. We are not sure how they got into the country, but they are here. That we know, that we can tell. Attacks in Lamu, attacks in Garissa, attacks in Moyale, they're actually being blamed on people who are not citizens. So my question is, if they are not citizens, how did they get here into the country, and why are they not being dealt with? So maybe the government should pull up their socks. They should do better, I think.
My name is Kitha Tito. On the question of whether the government is doing enough to secure our borders, personally I feel that they have tried, though more can be done. They have sent out more troops to the neighboring Somalia, which is a threat to our security. But we would be better off if we had a waterproof border of Kenya itself. We should be able to know who's coming in, why they're coming in, what they have. Questions of corruption on our border should not be existent in Kenya at this day and time, generally.
My name is Pastor Jakes. Concerning our security and our borders, I think the government is doing something. I wouldn't want to say that the government is doing nothing. It's just that considering what's going on, the war on terror in Somali, and it just happens that we are in that moment where it's like the whole thing is focused on us. But comparing other nations, Nigeria and other places, we cannot say we are badly off. And again, we cannot say that the government is not doing anything. No, I actually do believe the government is doing something. Yes.
Okay, I'm Edwin. According to the insecurity on our borders, I think the government is trying, it's doing its best. It's only that we, the citizens, are not helping the government. For example, if the foreigners are infiltrating into our country, we don't give the information to the intelligence services. So we must first take care of ourselves, and then the government can take care of us too. If we give information, because we are the people who know who has come and who has not come to our country, then if we give intelligence information, then we can be helped.
Well, different opinion, varied opinions right there. Talking about security in our country, do you think we're safe enough? Do you think our borders are safe enough around the borders? That's the conversation that we're starting this week. And my name is Michael Mwikamba. And if you're just joining us, our hashtag is Arise Africa, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. Start the conversation, keep the conversation going. We will be talking more on discussions about this, so keep the conversation going online. The lines are on the screen. And today we talk about our health tip, and our health tip for the day is the cucumber. You've been eating cucumber every day, and you don't know what it's all about. Today I'm giving you tips on what it can do health-wise to you. Those are 4 solid points right there. The cucumber actually does all of that. It keeps you hydrated. It works on your skincare, works positively on your skincare, so you don't have to be using cosmetics all the time. Those are some of the tips that you can be getting from us, health tips that keep you up to date. And it also controls blood pressure and it aids with digestion. Need I say more? Need I say more? That was the health tip. But now the business mwananchi, catching up with the business mwananchi. Every day we give you a story about businesses around town and how people are doing their business, how entrepreneurs are working around their business. Do they make profits? Do they make losses? Do they love what they do? What drives them? Different stories here and there. We've been talking to different entrepreneurs on our segment of Business Mwananchi, and if you've been following, we've been hearing different stories, and I hope it keeps you inspired. And this week we visited Inix Enterprise, and we talked to one Philip Morioki, rather. Sorry for that, Philip Morioki. And we were talking about the business. Let's hear what he had to say.
I'm Philip Morioki. I'm the shop manager at Inix Electronics Company. We are the sole distributor of Sayona appliances and electronics, and this shop did not start a long time ago. We are of 80 years as per now, but it's a growing company. It's growing at a very high rate comparing with the other competitors. In terms of sales, we sell so much, or we dwell so much on subwoofers. Those are the ones that make Sayona to be known in Nairobi. This one of our outlet, the shop, and we also have another outlet at Rudhuri Avenue, and the company is located in Mombasa Road. And also we are the sole distributor in Kenya of Sayona electronics and home appliances. Since I joined Sayona is growing at a very high rate. When you compare now with the recent years, in the past years, it's growing at a very high rate. We have employees. Actually, we have our salesmen. The shop has its own salesmen. The salesmen are given task in terms of looking for customers in the field, and also selling and dispatching goods to the other outlets, all our clients rather. Our prices are negotiable in terms of in anyone interested to buy, whether retail or wholesale. Our prices are negotiable and also are favorable. You get an item of your choice of your dream at a very favorable price. The kind of product that we deal with here, maybe hair dyers, hair clippers, that goes to the barbers, and also kettles, blenders, subwoofers, and also gas cookers. The response that we get from our clients, we get a very positive report from our clients because they commend us in terms of service, because you cannot go get a Sayona product and when it fails to work, we automatically direct you to a shop or our service center, and your product will service for free, and they appreciate so much. After selling our products, a customer will normally fill a warranty form, and we'll be left with our copy, and we'll follow up that customer to see whether the product that he bought or he acquired from us, whether it's good. That we keep in touch with our customer to see to get their response towards the product that we sold to them. What I can say, Inix is a good place because we are dealing with the fast-moving products, so I don't get any difficulties when it comes to sell our products, because our customer accepted our product. When you go and give a customer maybe a product, he will accept it. Yeah, the challenges that we get, always in business, there will be a competition. There is a very stiff competition because there are upcoming companies and upcoming goods. So we are trying hard, our level best to compete with our customer and also to offer the quality goods, because that's one of our challenge that we had to go a very stiff competition in terms of innovation and also electrical items. I would like to tell anyone who want to venture into business to take Sayona as his own because of the quality and the good service that we offer to our clients. And that is not risking his money, and Sayona is a very fast moving product. Business is all about risking, and when you don't risk, you not get where you want to go. So if you risk your money or when you get into business, you are entitled to get a profit or loss. So I would advise anyone who want to venture into business not to fear of any loss, because sometimes we will find ourselves a day will go without maybe serving any customer, or you get such challenges. So I would advise business day, it's all about patience. You get patient and it grows bit by bit.
A shy but pretty detailed personality there. Thank you very much, Philip Morioki. You gave us a fantastic tour of your place. That is Inix Enterprise. That was our business Mwananchi for the day. And if you're a business person and you feel like we need to feature your business, that you have a story to tell, remember you can also contact us on our lines, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter, hashtag Arise Africa. Tell us what your business is all about, where it's located, and we'll be sure to cover it. That's a promise. That's a promise on Business Mwananchi. Keeping it Arise Africa. So we get our quote of the day, but when we come back, more on safety tips, more inspirational moments, our guests for the day, our habits, the DIY, good vibes, you know, performance lounge, so much more. You better keep it locked, keep it Arise Africa. But first, we get our quote for the day. You know, Steve Jobs was a fantastic entrepreneur. Steve Jobs was a great mind. He's one of the celebrated people. Remember Apple, you know, iMac and everything, Apple. Steve Jobs. But then he has a quote for the day telling us, your time is so limited, don't waste it living someone else's life. It's not right. Just live your life and you enjoy who you are, explore your own potential. Don't live anybody's life because you want to impress who and who. Just live your own life and be fantastic at it. And I feel like we should now catch up with the weather before we continue with the day. Just catch up with the weather and see how it is out there. It is a sunny day. This is going to be a fantastic week. It started off sunny. It's still sunny today. You can see there's good shade. It's not so bright that it's disturbing, but then it's pretty sunny. It's a good morning, giving us a fantastic ambience for the day, giving you psych for the day. So you know the drill. If you feel like you're going to have a sweater later, prepare it, because you never know what the weather might decide to do. It has been unpredictable lately, but then it's fantastic. It gets clearer now. You can see a perfect view of the city. That's Waiyaki Way, giving you a perfect view for the city, and that is what the weather looks like today. The sky looks clear and fantastic. We get our inspirational moment for the day. This is just a short clip that shows you, that gives you a punch. We have people talk about those motivational things that you need to do, the things that you need to work on, be it your personality, be it your courage, be it the way you handle life, be it, you know, tackling your own relationships. It's just a part of this day that gives you psych for the day. We get our inspirational moment for the day, but when we come back, more of the show.
Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup. it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Kaepernick steps up, will try and run to pick it up. He's got a touchdown.
I didn't have an easy experience. I didn't come in as a top-rated recruit. I didn't come in with the opportunity to play right away. I had to earn it.
This is the draft report on you. Basically, it goes poor build, skinny, lacks great physical stature and strength,
lacks mobility and ability to avoid the rush, lacks a really strong arm, can't drive the ball downfield, does not throw a really tight spiral.
System-type player who can get exposed if forced to ad lib.
And gets knocked down easily.
That kind of gets me fired up because I'm thinking, you know, the hell do these people know? I mean,
we get one opportunity in life, one chance in life to do whatever you're gonna do, to lay your foundation, to make whatever mark you're gonna make, whatever legacy you're gonna leave your legacy. And it's found through effort. Wins and losses come a dime a dozen, but effort, nobody can judge that.
Oh, what a hit. Look out. Bad Smith. My goodness. That was vicious.
That most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep.
Why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why. Why?
Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year. But eventually, it will subside. And something else will take its place.
Bryant dribbling, has to put it up at the buzzer. Banks it in! Oh, he banks in the three! Bryant for three, puts it in! Kobe Bryant from downtown! And the Lakers regain the lead. Final seconds. Bryant for the win. Bang!
If I quit, however, it will last forever.
what should I do?
He has a tattoo of loyalty on his body, and he ignored that to go chase the championship with Chris Bosh in Miami. I hope he never wins anything in Miami. He is dead to me.
I just know I didn't play well. I could have played down the stretch better. I didn't have enough game-changing plays like I know I'm capable of having. Plays where it just shifted the whole game.
Dig deep down and ask yourselves, who do you want to be? Not what, but who. And I'm talking about not what your parents and teachers want you to be, but you. I'm talking about figuring out for yourselves what makes you happy, no matter how crazy it may sound to the people.
He can't stand up to the pressure. The higher the expectations, the worse he performs.
He's not a natural-born killer. James steps into a jumper and rattles it in.
LeBron James was made for the regular season. Come postseason time, he's the most overrated, overhyped superstar in my history in this business. Seriously.
I don't even know how I got here. I wasn't even supposed to be in the NBA. Me growing up where I grew up. And every time I go into my locker room and see the James on the back of an NBA jersey, I'm like, wow, I mean, no criticism can deter me from playing this game because of that. I'm not supposed to be here.
Overcoming your critic and silencing them. It's all about silencing those people. You will always have those people who do not appreciate what you do. You'll always have people who are critical of what you do. But if you know your dream, if you know your purpose and know what you go for in life, it's just important for you to have the drive and to keep on doing it every day, making yourself better. Keep on doing it every day and making sure you move towards the step of your ultimate goal. That is all the motivation was all about. We've had that guy was saying he was skinny, he was not well built, he couldn't do well enough, and he made it in American football. That's just some of the stories that inspire you every day. So whatever you do, whatever you do in life, be it music, be it presenting, be it working hard at your shop, be it building yourself, or be it losing weight, gaining weight, whatever you're doing in your life that's a purpose that you want to do it for a goal, remember that you can always silence those people who are always telling you you're not good enough, because those are the words you actually need to hear to make you to push yourself. So take the words positively and push it. That's the only way you can silence your critics. That's our inspirational moment for the day. We are keeping it Arise Africa. Hashtag Arise Africa was our trending line, and Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. That is what we are talking about today. Catch up with everything and tell us what you feel. Tell us how we can serve you better. Tell us the segments you liked. Tell us about, if you're a business entrepreneur out there and you feel like we need to cover your shop, tell us about it. The hashtag is Arise Africa. You can also give us shout outs. And now we get our safety tip for the day. Napo is a funny character. He always gives us a fantastic safety tips for the day, things that you can use to avoid stress, to avoid hazards, that will just make you live comfortably. We see what Napo has today on our safety tip. Some things that happen at work sometimes are unexplainable and very unpredictable. You can see that was a nagging client and very, very pissed off. The manager tried to go convincing them. He gets a blow on the face. So beware of different temperaments. Beware of different people out there. That is what Napo is trying to tell us with that tip. And keep yourself safe, even at a line at work. Don't be too comfortable. Just always take precaution and the necessary measures. That was our safety tip for the day. We go on a short commercial break, but when we come back, Arise Africa resumes with, a lot of things. The guest for the day, excited. There's a habit, there's the DIY, there's good vibes, performance lounge, and so much more. So keep it Arise Africa. Sit. Sepu.
At the Kenya Institute of Media and Technology, we are the gurus in the training of certificate and diploma in journalism, computer studies, business administration, hospitality management, travel and tourism management, clearing and forwarding, social work and community development, and electrical and electronics. Visit us at our head office at Mtihani House and Taveta Court, Nairobi. Kenya Institute of Media and Technology. Technology is power.
ulcers ni wiki 4. Hii hata siongei maneno ingine.
You have heard of the Murugu Natural and Nutritional Clinic. Open talk, natural medicine, authentic African cure.
Kuna magonjwa mengine yale yanaletwa na usafi na uchafu wa maji na chakula.
For the first time in Arise Africa, a show like no other, we meet the one and only Dr. Murugu, founder and owner of the Murugu Natural and Nutritional Clinic. Book a date and do not miss out.
Take your career to the skies with Nairobi Aviation College. 2014 intake is in progress for certificate and diploma courses in aeronautical engineering, airport operations, general aviation piloting, electrical and electronics engineering, computer science and IT, hotel and catering, travel and tourism, journalism and mass communication, business management, supplies management, community development, clearing and forwarding, secretarial, CPA and ATC programs. Visit our campuses in Meru, Nairobi, Kisumu, Nakuru, Mombasa, Eldoret and Kitale. Our courses are IATA approved. Nairobi Aviation College. Profession is power.
The boiling point mix.
Active Sounds DJ.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen, this DJ is awesome.
Crossing over. Crossing over. As we crossing over. Crossing over. Jesus taking over. Make it with a benzi. Make it with a daddy.
Activate.
Let go the wine. Dance with Christ like a sun you want shine. Active Sounds, them sister you want shine. Your biggest, baddest sounds that on the era. Make it with a benzi.
Welcome back to Arise Africa. I'm joined by the guest of the day. He goes by the name Kevin Kaesa, a fantastic poet, a phenomenal script writer, you know, and he's got a lot of things under his belt. But then I'll just let you introduce yourself to the viewers. Tell us who you are and what you're about.
I am Kaesa, Kevin Kaesa, 22 years old, I should state that. I'm a student and also I'm a performance poet, spoken word poet. Yeah, that's basically me. Yeah.
That's it. In your poetry, what do you do?
Poetry. My poetry is basically performance poetry. I do write written pieces, but I'm focusing majorly on performance poetry. That's what people call spoken word poetry. Yeah. So basically, for me, poetry is an outreach, reaching out to people, expression.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've said that you're mostly doing performance. Any reason why?
Okay, there's this guy called Lemon Anderson. He's an American poet. He says in one of his pieces that sometimes to understand a poem, you have to step away from the mic and attack the poem with your body, such that the poem becomes a part of you, an extension of who you are. So actually, performance poetry does that to poetry, to written poetry. It makes you become a part of your poetry. It makes you become a part of your work. So I prefer that. I prefer that than just writing my work. I like to give it life, perform it, let people feel what you feel. Yeah.
Giving it life, and it's nice. It's fantastic when artists decide to go beyond their limits, they get out of their comfort zone, and give people good pieces out there for them to think about. What kind of stories do you share with your poetry? Going back to what you've done, like writing and the kind of pieces that you've written before. What kind of stories do you like telling?
Okay, things I cover in my poetry, I'll cover about everything. Currently, I'm focusing on human issues, human life, focusing on things I go through, things people go through. Starting out with performance poetry, I did a project called Jesus Pieces. Most people actually attach with that because Jesus Pieces is an expression of bits of Jesus in me. You really don't have to be Christian, but the good things in you. You might be Buddhist, Islam, but there's a good thing in you that people need to see. So that's what I was trying to express. And lately I've been working on a project called Burning Bridges. So it's like getting people to walk away from a past, getting people to understand that they can move on beyond where they are. They can move on to where they need to be. So my poetry covers about everything. Everything I would experience, everything anybody will experience. So human life is basically what I try to picture in my poetry.
You've said two very interesting points. You've said the Jesus and Me is one project that you did, and the more recent is called
Burning Bridges.
Burning Bridges. Tell us more about Jesus and Me, like the story behind it. You've told us it's about the good parts in you, but then what inspired like that story, even the title Jesus and Me?
Okay, how I came to start doing that project. I had a Facebook friend, an American friend. So she used to write poetry. She's called Play Your Cards Right. That's her stage name. So she had written this piece called Jesus Pieces. And then in one of those lines, she says, you might be the last Jesus someone will see. And so I was like, okay. So maybe that 10 minutes I have on stage, maybe somebody came expecting something that will change them, something that will inspire them, but I just give them punchlines and left. You see, so I was like, what if I could give more than just that moment? What if I could give an experience? So I thought, what about I share my experiences? So I did the Jesus pieces of Jesus in me. Let me try and share them and maybe get people to share bits of Jesus in them. Yeah, so that's how I started up the Jesus Pieces.
Wow, and that's a good story because we're all about telling that other story behind the projects you see, behind the poet. And you've told us that you also have Burning Bridges. What's Burning Bridges about?
Burning Bridges, I think for me, the projects I take up start out with something, a spark. Okay, I usually write my pieces on my laptop, so I don't usually carry a notebook with me. So I like come up with all these sticky notes. They fill up my desktop. So there's this one sticky note that I think it was a quote I had read somewhere. It says, "May the bridges you burn light up your path." And so it used to like just run in my mind.
So it's just like for instance, when you light a bridge and it's burning, you feel like you're seeing through.
Yeah, you're seeing beyond that place you are.
Yeah,
so you forget about your past and you see what's ahead of you. So that's what I was going for. So I thought maybe after Jesus Pieces, after showing people what's inside of me, maybe I need to show them that I moved on from a place I was. maybe they also need to do that, because you can't really be showing somebody something good in them, but you're not showing them where to go. So sometimes you need to burn away that past, cross those bridges, burn them down so that you may never return there, then move on to a new place. So burning bridges.
That's a good angle to look at things, because sometimes in life we go through stuff and feel like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that can ever happen to me.
Yeah.
And you feel like, I can't move from here.
Yeah.
So burning bridges, like to me now, right now, it's inspiring me so much. I'm feeling like, oh my, I should just leave what I do in the past that I feel like it's not right.
Yeah, burn that bridge.
Burn that bridge and just move on.
Yeah.
Move on, child. And what are some, you've told us, those are the two stories that have really inspired your work. Yeah. So I would like to ask Kaesa, where do you perform?
My performances, well, I usually don't really have like specific events, but before I perform someplace, I prefer just to go view the place, get familiar with the people, what they expect. So I'll perform around anywhere in Nairobi, place where I find a fitting audience, because sometimes my pieces are like critical. They need people to take time to think through them. So I look for a place where people have that time. People are willing to hear that. People are willing to hear something that doesn't really have so many punchlines, but yeah.
More toned down and more stories.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. We are catching up with Kaesa. If you're just joining us, he is a fantastic poet. You're just getting to know his story. Remember, we are on Facebook and Twitter. He's also on Facebook and Twitter. But for Arise Africa, it's hashtag Arise Africa, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. He's at Kevin Kaesa on Twitter.
At Kelvin Kaesa on Twitter. Facebook, Kelvin Kaesa.
Yes, so you can remember to hashtag and keep the conversation going. Ask him anything. Ask him anything. He'll be sure to answer live. But right now, I'd like us to catch up with the traffic. Here, traffic is on standby. We can just see how our roads look this morning. So that is the traffic. It is a sunny day today, by the way. Have you noticed?
But it's still chilly.
That's the museum overpass, the museum hill overpass that passes above Waiyaki Way, but then leading to Museum Hill. That is, you can see traffic is moving pretty fast, so there's pretty much no snarl up right there. Waiyaki Way seems to be moving really, really fast. From Uhuru Highway, it seems to be moving really fast. But then coming into town, there's a slight stop. I think it's because the lights signaled them to stop. So it's stuck a little bit, but then seems to be moving since the queue doesn't look that long. There is a traffic officer manning that place and making sure that the traffic is fantastic. The roundabout connecting University Way and Uhuru Highway and Waiyaki Way is looking pretty nice. It seems to be flowing. Vehicles are snarling up, but then it's not so much. Coming into Uhuru Highway, I can see it's stuck, and the roundabout is fantastic. That's St. Paul's Chapel. That's the road that connects Nyerere Road and Lower Status Road. That's just there. There's a junction. There's a T-junction there that leads. One goes to Nyerere Road, the other one that goes to Lower Status Road. But then you can see it has stopped since it's not their turn. But then traffic seems to be really, really good this morning. It's a good day to drive. It's a good day to drive compared to the other days that we've had before. It's a good day to drive. And that's on Uhuru Highway. You can see passengers, not passengers, or pedestrians rather, passing. Pardon my grammar. You can see pedestrian passing, and just showing you an idea of how the roads look like today, especially from where the camera is, keeping you up to date on how Uptown Road looks like. So if you're coming to town and going to Westlands, you know the roads to pick. That is Nyerere Road. That's the Nyerere Road I was talking about that connects Kenyatta Avenue and the road that goes to Processional Way and connecting to Kenyatta Avenue. Kenyatta Avenue seems to be pretty static, but then I guess it's because the lights are signaling them not to move, and there's a lot of cars in Nairobi now, being in the morning, and everybody's trying to get to work. The road looks fantastic this morning. You can see that it looks real nice. That's Uhuru Highway. And not forgetting, the man behind the camera is Emmanuel Noda, giving us live feed from the road. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. That's how our traffic looks like this morning. Yeah. And more about Kaesa. Your story, we've learned very nice things about you. Interesting rather. Jesus in Me, a piece about showing the good sides about you. Like every person has that good side. Yeah. That's that piece. Is it on the lines? Is it online?
Okay, for every project I do, I usually run a blog. For my first project, The Jesus Pieces, I had a blog. It's called thejesuspieces.blogspot.com. So you can go check out the things I started out with. For my current project, the Burning Bridges, setting up a new blog. I'm consulting with a few people to make it better. Maybe you'll get the link to the blog. So follow me on Twitter.
Yes, follow him on Twitter and Facebook and get.
Yeah, you'll get the details, but I usually do that. Other than that, I run a Tumblr blog. Yeah, Pinterest. Okay, like every on social media.
You're every on social media. So on Pinterest, what's your ID?
Kelvin Kaesa.
Kelvin Kaesa. Is Kelvin Kaesa everywhere? So just type Kelvin Kaesa, Pinterest, WordPress,
Google,
Tumblr,
Tumblr.
Tumblr. So if you want to get more of his stuff, be sure to check them out on all the media, all the social media, right? Yep. You're pretty much on everything.
Yeah.
So Kelvin Kaesa on social media, and be sure to just check out what he's all about. And Kevin, what are some of the habits that you don't like, or you do like on people?
One I don't like is when people confuse my name. It's not Kaesa. It doesn't have a H. It's Kaesa.
People call you Kaesa?
Kaesa Sam, Kaisa, but
who calls you Kaisa?
Many people. I've actually had an event poster written Kaesa. So guys are like, okay, who's this? So you invite somebody to a gig and then he's like, but this is not my name. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's one thing that irritates me. But yeah, it's part of just people knowing you.
Yeah, but then it's part of human nature, because I've been called Mwikamba with a U so many times that I actually let it fly. Yeah. So long as I hear the pronunciation is mine, I just let it fly, because you cannot tell them.
Yeah.
Oh my, that it's not Mwikamba with you, it's Mwikamba with
W.
Actually,
I changed my name from Motia to Mutie because my primo teacher used to say Mutie, so it stuck up to this date, even on the ID. Even on the ID,
why?
So it stuck because okay, I think it also sounded better than the previous time, so I just went with it.
That's nice. Me, I'd never change my name. You'll have to learn it the hard way, no matter how you'll call it. So that's one of the habits that really irritates you.
Yeah.
Which ones do you like?
Okay, just habits. Okay, for me, I think just chilling after classes and just having coffee. Just chill, maybe watch an animation or something. That's something that just makes me chill.
You like?
Yeah.
I know there are very different opinions out there, and so many people have different opinions. Send us your habit and the habit that you hate. Remember to hashtag Aviation TV Kenya, hashtag Rise Africa. Then Aviation TV Kenya is the page on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter, and you can remember to also hashtag Kevin Kaesa and tag him in your comments. Ask him anything you want me to put him on the spot about, so that he can be upbeat and excited to be here. Ask him anything. If you need to know anything intimate about him, trust me, I'll ask him. Just ask. I dare you. I dare you to ask him that on air. We go on habits, but when we come back, more of our guests and more segments to come. DIY are still on the offing there, and the good vibes. So much more to wait for in Rise Africa. So keep it tuned. We go on habits. It's a perfect, it's a perfect simulation right there. The lady behind the all our dear, I'll just call her the queen of bad habits, or queen of habits rather. She always has this perfect simulation. She's a fantastic illustrator. She knows how to get the action right on time.
Yeah, and then it's something maybe the guys will think it's like that's normal, but okay, there are people who actually find it irritating.
But true, because catcalls, you can imagine you're moving and then we're
okay, what if it was the chicks doing like that to the dudes? Okay,
it would be strange.
Yeah.
It would be strange. It's like, it would be weird. It would be weird, winking and at the corner like as if you're summoning something else. Yeah. Don't do that to a human being. Get to the name, be bold enough and say hi. Just be bold enough and say hi. Yeah. Catcalls are irritating. Like, I asked around and nobody likes it.
Yeah.
Like, every lady finds it irritating.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's the weird person out there who likes the attention and likes the catcalls, but then mostly people find it irritating. So don't do that. Just don't do that. Don't. Those are some of the habits that we get through. We've gone through a lot. Yesterday we asked people about the etiquette. They told us about office etiquette, that the things that they don't like. If you were watching, you realize that.
Yeah, I was watching.
It's all about what people hate. We once did, adjusting weird body parts during the day. It's during the day. I know you're uncomfortable, but then you can find a reserved place where everybody is not watching. And do your business. Just don't do that. Spitting in public. So many habits that I actually find irritating. But then that's my personal opinion. Maybe I just have issues. But then if you feel like there's something that irritates you, just remember to give it to me on social media, #RiseAfrica, and tell me what irritates you. What really irritates you? I'm pretty sure you've got different opinion. Maybe something that I do irritates you. You can find something that I do annoying, and like, oh my God, that thing irritates me. But then don't get personal. Just look for habits.
I'll try to do that.
You'll try.
I'll put you on the spot.
Don't, because I'll forget and read it on air live. There's so much to know. Like right now at this juncture, we've had the story. There's the Jesus piece. If I can just catch up with that Jesus piece. There's the Jesus piece, Burning Bridges. There's those all places you've performed in. But then I'd like to know who inspires you. Who have you watched? Who have you listened to? Who have you encountered? Who have you had interactions with that have really inspired what you do?
Okay, inspiration, motivation. Okay, locally, from people I know, I've met really awesome people. I actually took up performance after I saw a couple of guys perform. I remember it was during a workshop, Hisia Zangu workshop. It was at Central Park. And then I saw these guys like Akinangati, Teardrops, Jicho. As in, these guys were performing poetry, not just reading it out. And that like moved me to like, maybe I should try and do this. Other than that, I seek motivation through, I'll do from music to reading. Currently, I'm actually reading books and blogs, because blogs actually, people write differently from books. So you get a new voice. So also music, I'm listening to Gina Iko right now, Clemo. I'm listening to, random artists. So yeah, I try to find just awesome wordplay, a new voice. Yeah.
Different sounds, different feel to keep you up to date. So that is what keeps you fresh.
Yeah, you don't have like the same story every time.
It's fresh every time. You should borrow tips from Kaesa. Listen to different people. It works. Yeah. Evidently.
Yeah, you can't be listening to reggae people always and then expect to write something else.
It's just like me and my weird jazz. Like, nobody listens to jazz. I think I'm like the only person. But then it's strange, but I like it. Works for me. It takes me to good places. But then I also listen to so many other things. I listen to poetry. I love poetry, both street poetry and intimate, old, ancient kind of poetry. I love music generally.
Yeah. So actually, I think musicians should try and listen to more poetry to get a feel on their lyrics and everything. And poets should listen to more music to get a flow of how to use words to paint pictures and all that, and maybe read more books.
Free tips right there from Kevin Kaesa. Remember, you can ask him any question on the social lines at Kevin Kaesa on Facebook. It's Kelvin Kaesa, but then it's just Kevin. Do you say the L?
You have to say the L.
You have to say so that people can know that.
There are too many people called Kevin.
Kevin, the Kevin without the L.
Yeah.
But then I thought the L is silent. Let me just not argue with that. Kelvin Kaesa on Twitter, on Facebook at Kelvin Kaesa on Twitter. Just tell him #RiseAfrica and ask him whatever. We will ask him on air. And right now, I'd like us to go to the do-it-yourself segment. We've always been walking around with Timberlands. Right now, they're really popular with the rain and all. People are wearing Timberland boots, and people are wearing other suede-like shoes.
Yeah.
And do you know how to restore the original color? Like how it works.
Okay, I don't know how to restore them. I usually see guys, don't wear Timberland boots most, but I see guys wear their Timberlands until they're like completely worn out, as in, you're like, okay, was it really a Timberland boot to start with? So, okay, maybe guys should watch and see.
Just watch and see. We go on the do-it-yourself, showing you how to restore your Timberland.
Step away from the Timbs. Ma'am, have you been drinking tonight?
You're under arrest, motherfucker.
You're under arrest. You've been a bad little cat.
So basically what I have for you guys today on the chopping block in my Evil Genius library are some really disgusting, ugly, dirty Timberland boots. And essentially what's gonna go down in this vid is I'm gonna show you guys how to restore, clean, and reshape messed up, jacked up Timberlands. Alright, so first of all, welcome to boot camp. Let's get into the supplies you're gonna need. You're gonna need some Lincoln Easy Cleaner made for suede or another type of suede cleaner. Lincoln is my preferred choice. Link where you can buy this online will be in the description box below. You'll also need a toothbrush. In this case, got the white and green Colgate all day on deck. And then you will also need a towel or some sort of old t-shirt or rag to use, of course your boots, and then a nice magazine or newspaper to protect that pecan table you got below you. So the first thing you want to do is read the directions on the suede cleaner. Of course, don't oversaturate and apply using the bubbles. So I'll shake it up to produce some bubbles, pop the cap on that ass, and then I'm going to go ahead and penetrate the bubbles with my toothbrush. And once I have the liquid and suede cleaner on the brush, what I want to do is just start gently scrubbing using the toothbrush the suede cleaner onto the boots and get some nice bubble action going. Now, I don't want to promise you guys that you'll get every stain out because I don't know what you guys have gotten into on your boots, but this is pretty much the time-tested and correct way of doing it. So I'm going ahead and just applying the suede cleaner on the whole lower panel of the shoe. Excuse me, I was stuttering and whatnot. But yeah, you just want to apply the suede cleaner evenly on the whole panel of the shoe. So go panel by panel and hit it up. So as you can see right now, I'm just applying more and more to the toe box. Pay most attention to the areas where the shoe is the dirtiest. So in my case, it would be the toe box, but now I'm going ham and just applying the suede cleaner once again to the whole lower panel of the boots. You dig? And then next I'm going to apply the suede cleaner on the upper panels of the boots if they are dirty. But you want to do this because if you spot treat one area, it can leave dried up liquid marks and actually make your shoes look even worse. So you want to go ahead and apply a nice even coat so when it dries, your boot will finish looking evenly. So as you can see right now, just finishing up that lower panel. Boom, boom, bada bing, bada boo. And now I'm going ham and applying it to the upper panel once again. And then to dry up the suede cleaner, it will take some time if you let it air dry. So to speed up the process, I just grab my towel and I start dabbling it. So when you apply the suede cleaner, you don't want to be too rough because you can take off the color or leave indentions in the suede. And also when you dry the shoe, similarly, you don't want to get too rough and tumble with it because once again, you can take off some color. So I'm just dabbing and lightly wiping the suede, that nubuck material, just getting all that nice suede cleaner off, or at least absorbing as much as I can. As you see, I took off a little bit of color. No worries guys, this will happen when you clean the boots. So just be as careful as you can and as precautious as you can to not completely destroy the shoe. And it's not too hard to do. Honestly guys, just make love and caress the boots. That is the best advice I can offer you guys in terms of drying and scrub-a-dub-dubbing your boots. So then, while you let the toe box dry, another key aspect of making your boots look on point is of course cleaning the outsole of them. So basically what happens is I mix up some soap and some water in a mug, get my toothbrush, start stirring it up in my witch's pot, and then I start cleaning the outsole, the gum outsole of the boot. So basically this just helps set off your restoration job and just cleans up that nasty ass grimy dirt, dust, whatever you have on the outsole of your boots. So basically just keep this soap and water concoction and mixture away from the suede and just go ahead, rub vigorously and do your best to clean up them kicks. You feel me? And then once you have it nice and scrubbed off, you want to grab that towel like a boss and just wipe it down. You feel me? Hey. So paying attention to detail, if the laces on your boots are jacked up such as mine, you want to just go ahead and rip them bad boys out of them gold King Tut eyelets, you feel me? So just rip out the old laces and replace them with some new ones. Luckily I had some nice boot laces lying around, but you can get some at Academy or other sports stores, and of course you could probably find them online. So I'm just going ahead and just lacing up the new fatter anacondas in my Timberlands. So basically guys, you can use whatever discretion is needed or whatever personal laces fit your taste best, you dig? And voila, pretty much here's the completed boot. Shout out to Bob once again for coming through and jumping all up in my shots. But as you can see, the left boot on your screen was torn up by cats, so don't let them get near your boots. But the right one, the one that I restored, has a nice clean toe box and a nice clean side panel. So as you can see, the restoration job went well. Hopefully this helped you guys. Bob, what the fuck you think this is? This ain't boot camp. Chill out, what you doing? Boot camp, get it?
I don't get the deal with the cat, but then that was fantastic. Like if you know how to remove a stain from your, don't be vigorous with it. Yeah. But then don't use your mouth toothbrush. Use a separate toothbrush. You know, people are like, oh my God, you can use a toothbrush and you'll be done. Yeah. Don't do that with your brush. Use a separate toothbrush. Cutting cost. So that cutting cost, my friend, that is how you will drive fast cars. You know, yeah. Use a separate brush and take precautions. Use a towel and just any detergent, any suede cleaner of your choice. Yeah. It works for Timberland. That's how you restore your shade without ruining the fabric, the suede on top. But to me, mpaka inaisha, you meet with a person and you're like, oh my God, are this original Timberland? They are, only that not well maintained. Just do it yourself from your house. That's how simple it is. You don't need a specialist to do that for you. It's just simple as taking a brush and suede and rubbing it against your brush and you're done. You saw the steps and it was fantastic, but which has reminded me of this song I like. You reminded me of this song I like by the band. Oh, Nimetamak mpaka Timberland zangu zikageuka sandak. Yeah. Totally out of the point, but then I just love that line. I had to say it. Just had to say it. Kaisa, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, well, I'll be older. Other than that, okay, poetry-wise, I'm looking to do more awesome projects. I'm looking to better place myself in the poetry scene. Mm-hmm. Also, I'm trying out new stuff. I'm trying to incorporate poetry in different things, not just the basics. Okay, just to hint, I'm working on incorporating an orchestra into poetry, not just a band. Many people do bands, so I'm trying to think of a full-out orchestra. Wow. Yeah, so I've been talking to some.
Going on, Michael Bublé.
Yeah. So I've been talking to some guys into the strings, whatever, all those guys are. And so far, so good. Maybe it might be too soon. So yeah, when it happens, I'll let you guys know.
We will be watching. We follow closely. We will be watching. Be sure to just tell us when something spectacular like that happens. Orchestra, that is a good props. That's a good vision. Yeah. Like that's how people should be thinking right now. Stepping totally out of the comfort zone, because orchestra is pretty complicated with the directing and all.
Yeah, so
but then you're up to the challenge. Yeah. You're up to the challenge. I believe, like, you're fantastic with whatever you perceive in your mind is what you are. Yeah. Like that's what I tell everybody.
If you conceive it, if you believe it, you conceive it.
Yes, if you believe it. Apart from me doing backflips, that will never happen. that
I'm a ninja. You can take tips from me.
I can take tips.
I don't do backflips too.
Yeah, your neck might decide.
Yeah, but it's the thought that counts.
The thought. If I do it in my mind, it matters.
Yeah, you just.
Now you're bluffing. I like to know, like, what inspires you in good performance? What moves you in a good performance when you're watching somebody perform?
Okay, for me, okay, since I heard that line by Lemon Anderson that sometimes you have to step away from the mic and attack the poem with your body. For me, a good performance is one that makes me a part of it. A good performance is one that I can feel what the poet says. I can see what the poet says. He just doesn't say words. He paints pictures. For me, I always seek to create an experience, not just a moment, not just a time there on stage and then you do your thing and then leave. Create an experience. Create something that people will live. He also goes on, Lemon Anderson, I think I take up a lot of his stuff. Mm-hmm. He says, in one of his pieces, he says that people will buy tickets to my experience. They'll go back home with them and use them as refrigerator magnets to remind them of that experience. As in, that's how an experience should be. Let people go back and be like, wow, I wish I'd see that guy perform again. Make me a part of it. I'm paying to watch you perform. Mm-hmm. Man, give me your best.
Yes, don't pay and then you feel wasted by the end of the day. You leave annoyed. Like, what was that? I paid whatever shillings I paid but then he did not. Which reminds me, this is a good question, an interesting question that somebody very close to you, very, very close, asked.
I think I know what you're going to ask.
How much would you pay for your own performance if you were to be a different part of you? How much would you pay for your own, to watch yourself?
I'd pay to watch myself perform. I'd pay whatever sum has been put up, and maybe even add up to it. I'd give it all, yeah, because okay, somebody also asked me that so that he could ask those guys. Somebody also asked me, and so it was like ringing in my head, as in like, really, these guys are coming to watch you perform, and then they're paying. If it was you, how much would you pay? Yeah, so yeah, I think I'd pay enough, but it also has to match with what you give on stage.
Because sometimes I feel like you cannot put a tag to good words, you cannot put a tag to wisdom, you cannot put a price tag on anything that is fantastic, that deals with the emotion and the soul and your mind. You cannot put a tag to that. It's like asking how much you'd pay a teacher.
Yeah, and he's giving you more.
He's giving you more.
Yeah.
You know, like people feel underappreciated. Like they should ask themselves how much they're worth and just move to it. I like asking people. I liked from the time I read that question on Facebook when it was asked to guest yesterday. I was like, wow, this is a good question, because it really puts a value on what you do.
Yeah.
How much do you value yourself? How much do you value yourself? Which is what I like to do. So on Arise Africa, we have this interesting segment. We talk about good vibes. We get good vibrations for the day. It's pretty a segment that we take creative stuff or from anywhere. Yeah. We can record live. We can get just creative live stuff from anywhere, where people have covered other artists. Other artists cover other artists in a very creative way, give a different picture. Like you people should try take somebody else's pieces and do it perfectly. Yeah,
I've actually seen a couple of guys do that to a poem, and yeah, okay, sometimes it's hard to actually match up, especially if the guy who wrote the piece is like fantastic. So awesome. Yeah. But it's also a nice challenge to
different twist. Let's just watch our good vibe for the day and tell me what you think after we come back. But when we come back, the performance lounge.
Yeah.
Shina, shina wana, shina wana, shina wana, shina, shina wana, shina wana.
The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like the swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I tried. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good
So this space is called Nairobi Nights. It's an appreciation for Nairobi and everyone I know around Nairobi. The sights, the people. Yeah. Nairobi Nights. The fancy life, the flashy lights, and the nameless faces upitana nazo daily. Nairobi Nights. Fancy life, flashy lights, and the nameless faces upitana nazo daily. Yeuza mwili kiwa wrapped in less clothes, hata nyama ufungwa na gazeti nyingi. Ureport vile ame break marriage nyingi, lakini siku nyingi. Since I feel love your family ni nini. Akisimama kwa kona ya Kenyatta Avenue na Koinange Street, the closest you feel to a family ni Holy Family Basilica. Sunny kiset Central Park in a cast shadows on the city. Curtain raiser for her red light instincts kick in. Joining Nairobi, na lazima make a living. On the other end ya Moi Avenue, kuna boy anaitwa Timo. Aligrow kwa hizi streets, kaile rose iligrow from concrete. A father figure, jai figure, so anaweza point an accusing finger to society for the wrong lessons zime live life yake disfigured. Akisimama kando ya statue ya Tomboy ulizanga Tom, mbona wewe kwa budangu? Na nikilala kwa shadow yako mu feeling at home like za Mr. Price, zo nikumbusha naweza have brighter dreams na maybe nikijikaza tu kidogo sita miss the price. Joining Nairobi, hata statue ya Dedan Kimathi unikumbusha dream independence ilipatikana kwa ncha ya upanga, nchi ya mapanga. Ju dreams ni kaa seeds, lazima utazipanda, utazipalilia. Hii piece ni wale wasona dreams bigger, dreams haziwezi fit kwa kitanda ya 4x6. Ini wale wasiupendanga mabuyu za jamia, za wale watangoja hiyo fare ya 100 ishuke na 10 bob. Ini wale watu wana seek better days. Acha fear zenye zimeku hold back for all those days, kukumbusha uko na heart the size of a hot air balloon, so utarise above and beyond the expectations how set utarise. Nairobi Nights, fancy life, flashy lights, and the nameless faces upitana nazo daily. Nairobi Nights. So this is a new piece I wrote. It's called Burning Bridges, and sometimes you feel like, yeah, you need to move on to a new place. So yeah, it's called Burning Bridges. It's been a year since they chained you here. The scars on your arms, they bleed. The sores on the soles of your feet, they fester. The voices in your head, they sneer, they smile, they remind you that regardless of how many times you slit your wrist, they're the only ones always beside you. They remind you that you may have dark nights and darker days the match unge hang onto your head, on your shoulders, and for that moment una wonder why the air above your head you weigh so much. Why una so much of a will but so few ways, na mbona your pain will leave more scars than gains. I hope you will find yourself. I hope you will learn to walk away from your past, burn down the bridges so you may never return, and may the bridges you burn light up your path. I hope you will find yourself. It's 5 minutes into your final paper, but your mind keeps drifting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back to that one night 2 weeks ago when you had to figure out whether to save up for your bus fare or buy your next meal for the 3rd night in a row, so you know that this 5 minutes just did mean life or death to you. I hope you will find yourself. I hope you will track down your dreams, track down the scent of your dreams like the scent of dust just before a downpour with a million raindrops beating around you, beating. I hope their sound reminds you. The sound of your beating heart that night 2 weeks ago when you decided you were going after your dreams. You are going to capture them, trap them in a glass jar, and display them in your living room right next to everything you hold dear. I hope you will find yourself. I hope you will learn to walk away from your past, burn down the bridges so you may never return, and may the bridges you burn light your path. I hope you will find yourself. I hope you will find yourself. I hope you will seek to find true love. I hope you will seek to find true love outside of your ex's arms. I hope you will learn to value the trips back into yourself, because only within yourself will you find the one who truly loves you for you. Even God knows that you've had your own back since birth, so go on, learn to read love in the curve of your smile's reflection. When you look into your eyes, look keenly. Look deeply. Look past the blood-stained graffiti on the walls. Look past the fragments of your broken heart. Look past the corner of your mind where you so much fear to go to, and there I hope you will find a table set for two, because love has always been there waiting for you. I hope you will find yourself. I hope you will learn to walk away from your past. Burn down the bridges so you may never return, and may the bridges you burn light your path. I hope you will find yourself. See, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Lakini your friends wanaweza kuwa the reason why ushaanza kukonda. Si uchange your friends basi alafu to bet toneka utakuwa umenona kiasi after a few months. I hope you will learn to find true friends wata bring down back to earth, like seriously. Wata bust your bubble pride ikianza kukubuff up. Wata kufumusha kila dream ni seed. So to bring back to earth wataipanda. May the street lights inspire you. May the streets of this city guide you. May the dead and Kimathi and Tomboya statues remind you that the streets of this city, they twist, they intertwine, they bend like tree roots, they build dreams with the blood of slain soldiers. Have you been tried to the point of death yet? So go on. Go on, wear your heart on a sleeve. Heart attacks kill, but heartbreaks don't, so you still have time to fall a little more into where your lonely fates find peace within yourself. May the fears that held you back at the edge, may the feel of ropes against your back remind you that you have a heart the size of a hot air balloon, so you will jump off cliffs, but you will rise. You will rise, you will rise, you will rise, you will rise above and beyond the expectations they set for you. You will rise. You will rise above and beyond the sticks and stones they threw to weigh you down. You will rise. You will rise. You will rise like that rose that grew from concrete. You will rise to read the skyline of this concrete jungle. You will rise. May you learn to walk away from your past. Burn down the bridges so you may never return, and may the bridges you burn light your path. I hope you will find yourself.
Wow.
Yep.
Deep stuff. Deep. Thank you so much. Is that the burning bridges you were talking about?
Yeah, that's the first piece.
That's the first piece in the
burning
album.
Bridges project. Yeah.
Wow. It's really intense because it's really inspiring. It's like one of my inspirational moment quotes, like the voiceover on the inspiration, giving people a motivation for the day. You know, like telling them it's never late. It's never, like I've loved that quote, like heart attacks kill, but heartbreaks don't. They don't. So you've got
so
time
you still
to
have
fall.
Time. Yeah.
You've got time to fall. If that isn't inspirational enough, I don't know what is. If that isn't inspiration right there, I don't know what is. Thank you very much. And I love your storytelling. It's very composed. This is you. And I love how very composed. I even don't know how you get all that composure. It's hard for me to compose myself. I'm a very jumpy person, naturally.
When you're on stage, you're the boss.
So chill.
Yeah, you just chill.
Yes. Keep calm.
Yeah, keep
do
calm.
Kaesa.
Yeah. Kaesa is a ninja.
Thank you so much, guys. It has been real. It has been so much fun. I've learned a lot. I've had a good time. Hope you had a good time. You too. If you just tell him if you had a good time, you can follow him on Facebook. Yeah. Follow him on Twitter. Just catch up with the gigs that he'll be performing at. He's always in gigs in Nairobi. So if you love poetry, be sure to catch up with Kaesa in those poetry events. And it has been real. It's just about that time where I say bye bye and go to the feature segment. Rise Africa hasn't ended, but then I'm out of the studio soon.
Our time has
our time has ended.
Yeah.
But then before that, I'd like to thank special people who make this happen. Like there's a team of guys who are fantastic. They always make this happen every day tirelessly, making this happen. There's Alex Munyao, the man behind my camera, Kefa Mito, the man behind my camera, Emmanuel Linon, the one manning the spy camera and the random camera around town that shows the traffic, the weather, that shows everything that happens in town that is recent. Emmanuel Lona does that, keeping me up to date. There's Sefu who directs me behind that. There's Joel for transmission. There's Kevin for graphics, and there's
another Kevin.
Yes, this is Kevin now without the L for graphics. And there's Immaculate, and if you see how I know my name, there's Immaculate, there's Rose. They deal with editing every material that you see on screen, the health tips, you know. And there's my queen of bad habits. She's always doing perfect simulations and getting people on the spot for the habit. Sometimes it's not even acted. Sometimes she just gets people on the spot. She just nurtures people like that.
Yeah, and
She's
also
fantastic.
whoever made the coffee was awesome.
Oh yeah, Teresa made the coffee. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa.
Yes, and you know, and so much more. It's hard work to put this together. I'm forgetting someone. Oh yeah, Raphael. Thank you so much for always keeping me connected and telling me what's up. And that's that's the whole. I think I've mentioned my whole crew today.
Yeah, I think I should also mention my crew.
Yes, just mention your crew.
Okay, don't have a crew, but to everyone watching, as in, thanks for tuning in, to all those guys who say they tune in. Yeah, thanks. Remember, hashtag Arise Africa. Also, you can hashtag Jesus Pieces, and I'll check out your stuff. Yeah,
fantastic. And that, my friend, is how we end. We know, but then watch the feature. It's all about children and, you know, child mortality in Africa, which has been crazy. But then this feature just shows something. If you want to be educated, just watch this. Bye bye for now.
Yeah.
So the 5 countries that we work with in East and West Africa all come pretty low down on the index of infant mortality and paediatric mortality and so on. And Sierra Leone is probably the country where we work that has the worst statistic. So the relationship I have with the management at Oladurin Children's Hospital has developed over the past couple of years. I think what's really important, what we did quite successfully at the beginning, was to set our expectations of each other, where we put together a bit of a memorandum of understanding, which we then have been able to refer back to if there's been any issues or blockages or whatever. So that work we did at the beginning, I think, was really, really helpful, and that has helped us build a sort of consistent relationship with them.
The whole hospital is a almost 200-bed hospital, and we have 9 wards in this hospital, which means at least we need 9 doctors. But you are not going to believe this. We have only 2 doctors in this hospital. All the others are house officers, apprentices, people who are still learning, they have not got their license. So like even having somebody, just one person from outside, from Global Link or anywhere, it boosts a lot.
So the sort of things that myself and the other volunteers are doing is, I think, primarily joining in with the local workforce. I think that's very supportive just in its own right, that people realise that they're not on their own and other people around the world are interested and care.
The thing that Global Links was for us to, one of the things we encouraged us to do was when we arrived was to kind of gather the lay of the land, try and see where we thought we could see improvements, and then kind of discuss with local staff whether they thought that was a good idea and get their thoughts. And then once you've done those 2 things, try and bring something together and say, do we agree this is how we move forward, or do we agree this is what you want to be taught on? You're prepared for kind of varying and different levels of motivation compared to what you'd be used to in the UK, and I think it's only something like about 10% of the nurses here are paid. It must be incredibly difficult to motivate yourself to go in for a night shift when you're doing that. And the doctors have all been great, so I've been working with one doctor in particular in SCBU, and she's been really helpful in teaching me bits of Creole here and there, the local language, as have the nursing staff actually, and they've been very encouraging to do that too. But they'll help with translation, they'll explain things if I don't, if I'm trying to kind of scratch my head and work out why that's happening. So yeah, in general they've been very supportive, very welcoming, and you've never felt excluded as an outsider coming in.
One of the problems in Sierra Leone is that no doctors can get specialist training here, so they have to go overseas, and certainly in Sierra Leone, at Ola During, and then with some of the other partners like Wellbody Partnership, they've been working for 3 or 4 years to get accreditation from the West African College of Physicians to train paediatricians in Sierra Leone. So just recently there's been inspections, and the West African College has given accreditation to Ola During to train the next generation of paediatricians. And Global Links have contributed to that because they've been able to put consultants like me and residents into the system that are actually requirements to get accreditation. I think the skills that we probably bring are things to do with team functioning, team behaviour, looking at the way things are organised, and looking at efficiency. I think a really good example would be, in a sense, in a really organic way, over 4 or 5 months on the intensive care unit, a new way of learning, which eventually acquired the name Speed Learning, developed. So with the staff nurse and some of her team, there were always questions coming up on the ward round. So we identified a question, a 15 minutes of process, and then at the end summarised for everybody what they'd found useful and interesting, and what they were going to change having had the 15-minute session. To take the whole nursing team away for an hour is very disruptive to the management of the ward and actual care of the children. But taking 15 minutes a day and just sitting at sisters' desks, still in the view of the parents, seemed a very elegant situation. And actually, not only have we delivered individual bits of knowledge and skills, but actually in the process, staff nurse has become very empowered that she was a major driver of this. And then her nurses around her have seen actually they influence this, and then there's demands from the rest of the hospital. Why don't we have speed learning? So I think that small example is quite a nice illustration how just a small initiative allowing local contribution and allowing the local environment to influence what happens actually pulls people in. So it wasn't something that was done to them, it was something that people really took the major lead on.
The nurses are really benefiting from them, because for what I see when I'm doing my rounds in the morning, I see the doctors doing their rounds together with the nurses, and then whatever they do, they explain to them, and then they allow them to ask questions. Sierra Leone is a developing country, so much that what has been learned or what has been taught at the faculty of nursing is not what really we are seeing out here, because we do not have all the things. But with the help of the volunteers, they are doing a remarkable something here in the hospital.
Training isn't just about giving people new knowledge and new skills, but actually, I feel one of the unrecognised things is it actually shows people it's a reward. So one of the things that external people like Global Links, funded by THEC, can do is actually bring that in and actually send a message that to nurses or nursing aides that what you're doing is valuable, and it is important to invest in you and invest in your training.
Before departing overseas, we gather all of the UK paediatricians at the college to do a 2-week training programme. And we also invite the doctors from Africa to come during this time, so that they do a 2-week training programme together, which is really helpful in terms of being able to draw on each other's experiences and learn from each other, and really helps with the whole expectation management of the UK guys. They're able to talk to the African doctors about any concerns they have, and it also helps the African doctors as well to get an idea of what it's going to be like working in the NHS.
The way we use our resources so that we sustain the next. Global Links have started a program. Like in my country, we have the ETAT project, and we also have we have UK pediatricians who come on placement. So they are trying to assist us, or rather support us, in improving the outcomes of sick children admitted in our hospitals through personnel support, and also by improving maybe our equipment. They buy for us a few equipments and such things, and also exposing us to what happens here in the UK to see if we can take it back and implement it somehow. I now focus my training on that. For me, my main role here this week was to come and sensitize the UK doctors on ETAT implementation and what it was about. So I hope by the end of the training, they can be able to go back to the facilities they're attached to and be able to implement ETAT and not feel out of place. For our doctors who are here, I hope that when they go to their various hospitals where they are on attachment, they will learn something and come back with that knowledge home.
So the exchange visits that the African doctors do in the UK kind of fall into two categories. So on some occasions, the doctors will come to the UK, do 2 weeks of training at the college here on things like clinical audit, UK child protection, that kind of thing. And then follow that with a 4-week clinical attachment at a hospital in the UK, really focusing on their area of interest, their subspecialty. And then the other type of exchange is that we recruit doctors from, so far mainly West Africa, to come to the UK on a 12-month training program. So they join the UK trainees. They spend 6 months doing general paediatrics and then 6 months doing neonatal care. And then we ask them to report back on how well they're developing and so on.
I'll be in Birmingham Children's Hospital, where I'll be working principally in the cardiology department. Then subsequently I'll work in the newborn unit. I'll be starting my rotation in about 2 weeks' time, and I intend to spend about 6 months each in them, get to know what the general pediatrics is like here, then know what the cardiology specialty and probably hemato-oncology, then know what your newborn unit is like and compare that to what we do back in Nigeria. I intend to acquire the skills that are available here and get knowledge, then share my experience with colleagues back home and see how the practices can be influenced in Nigeria for better outcome.
It's these doctors from East and West Africa that are helping to really develop a consortium of doctors in Africa interested in international child health, and we can then draw on them in the future to develop, future programs. I think, one really good thing about the Global Links program from my perspective is the quality of the volunteers that we've been able to recruit. The commitment that they've shown has been fantastic. This kind of work is never easy. So the way that they've faced the challenges, the way that they've picked themselves up, the way that they've sort of overcome their frustrations, and the relationships that they've built with the staff that they're working with in the local hospitals has been fantastic. And without that kind of commitment, without the levels of their expertise, their clinical skills, this program would have not had the impact that it has had so far.
Success for colleagues in Sierra Leone would be that there was an internal self-sustaining confidence, that nurses and doctors and midwives and others actually felt that they were the leaders, that they could control things, that they could come up with ideas and priorities and implement them, and that the workforce would be self-sustaining.
And one thing that we had I like the idea in that the Royal Health hasn't come to us and told us what to do. They actually asked us, what do you want us to do for you? And the decisions made in the country level were not made at a very high place. What the people of Kenya Pediatric Association did is that now they came to the facilities and asked us, what do you want? So it was basically a bottom-up approach on what facilities wanted to help them improve on their healthcare outcomes. So I think it's quite, it's a great thing, according to me,